Yo guys, it's Ozgun here. I hope you are doing well. So I got two announcements to make before I start this video. First of all, in this Friday, I'm gonna have a new track coming out. It's a collaboration with Yellow Punk, so don't forget to tune in my socials if you don't want to miss the track. And also the second announcement, today I have a new sample pack coming out in the Revealed recording, so I'm gonna put a link in the description. It's gonna be a pack, contains my productions and also the forehands productions. As you know, we released the Underground in the Room recordings beginning of this year. So this pack contains sounds from the Underground and also tons of other sounds. There will be like 100 sounds in the pack, and there are mostly loops that you can just directly be able to use on your productions. So as I said, the link in the description, don't forget to check it out. And today's video is gonna be about the groove, the vibes, we will talk about the swing and also the velocity curves, the sidechains and how they affect the groove of your track. And if you're ready, let's get into the tutorial. So guys, I quickly prepared this very rough loop. So I'm gonna explain everything top of this loop. Let me first play it. So as you hear, it's just raw. I haven't done any processing to the sounds yet. So I like to start with the hi-hats and especially the length of the hi-hat. So if we start with the length, this is just a hi-hat shot. And as you see, there's no processing at all. It's just hitting 16 notes. And it's too straightforward. You see, there's no soul inside of it. There's no emotions it contains. So first of all, if you just drag-drop the hi-hats to the playlist, you see there will be just two menus in here and you won't get any ADSR settings. But if you just do it inside of the channel rack, you will have a third third tab in the sampler, and you can activate the envelope settings in here. So with this, you can just, shorten the hi-hat a little bit. So we will have much more space for the other elements in the mix. Even like making it short, I think not enough. We can always automate this if we need it, let's do it. So for example, I can just do something like that. I can give a little bit more decay. So this hit can be slightly, more decayed, which means longer sample length, and then we can just make it back. With doing this, we are just giving some accentuation to the third hit of the hi-hat. Maybe we can do something similar, but even more in the second part. Something like that. So instantly, the hi-hat starts to have some emotion. It's something different now. Let's keep it in this way. And also, let's keep talking about the hi-hats. But probably it's best if I just copy this automation. We will need to do it anyway. Okay, let's keep talking about the hi-hats. So as I said, the length is important. If we go to this hat, for example, there's another hat hitting at the same time with the rolling hat, which is kind of open hat. So maybe I can also shorten the length of it. And maybe if I don't want them to fight, I can just jump to the 16 hi-hat and I can just choose the notes they are overlapping, and I can lower the velocity a little bit. And now we are, talking about the volumes of the individual MIDI sounds. And now also the volume is gonna start affecting the groove of our track. And let's do something similar to the first hits because there's kick. We don't want them to fight with the kick. Maybe I can just lower it even more. And now we got a different groove going on. And what if we just exaggerate the last hit? It's all experiment, as you see. I like this one better. Let's give it a little bit more length. Maybe more. I'm just gonna cut from like here. And let's listen it with the full track, maybe speed up the melody. And also let's do something like that. If you have something slightly different on every, 4 or every 8 bar, your groove is gonna sound much more interesting. So maybe we can just do the last hi-hat hits just more long in terms of the length. It was too subtle. Let's do it a little bit obvious. We are getting somewhere, but we are definitely not there yet because we don't use any swing or any shuffle, any groove, any misplacement in the MIDI yet. So I mean that like something like that, you can just choose the offbeat. So if the first hit is on beat, it's where the kick hits. The next beat is gonna be offbeat. You can think like that. So we can choose the offbeats and move them a little bit. You see, it becomes sloppy. It's not a marching hi-hat now. And whole vibe, whole emotions already changed. Let me choose them again. If you find the sweet spot that fits your track, you will get a better groove. We are not done yet on the grooves, on the swings. You should do something like that. Now, as you see, the offbeats are shifted. But for example, if I use this top loop doesn't have this same groove applied to it. This is very straightforward. If you use any groove on your tracks, you need to chop the top loop or any other, drum loops that you are using in your tracks. Like that. I'm holding shift and just scrolling my mouse. So you gotta do it for every note that is clashing. So they will have the same groove applied to them. And with this, all of the samples you're using in your tracks is gonna, sound very glued to each other. And you need to do that if you have any groove. And now if you listen, let's choose the generic so we don't have this popping, clipping sounds. So it's perfect. Now the groove of the top loop and the hi-hats are matching perfectly. And if you do that, for example, I had a perk in here. I need to see if this perk flashing. No, this perk, in here. We need to put it in the last hit. We need to just match it with the hi-hats. And also, we gotta do the same with the melody as well. So if you are using the groove templates inside of the FL Studio, it was, if you press Alt Q, you will see the templates in here. So if you choose the groove, for example, in the quantizer, you can just swing and you can just make it with these two. There are different groove templates. You can search and find the one that fits your track. And for example, if you apply 45% to the hi-hats, you can just apply the same amount to the melody as well. This is going to be easy. But if you did this by hand, you just need to highlight the offbeats like this. And you just got to monitor it with the piano roll. It's a little bit tricky, but that's okay. So now they are also matching together. Let's talk about the sidechains. I think it's the time. For hi-hats, I usually use this kind of sidechain, but for example, I applied like maybe 20, maybe 30%. Yeah, in this case, I can go like 50%. You see the depth, the amount of the sidechain also affecting the groove. That's why you need to try all the variations and find the best possible scenario for your track. I'm gonna keep it like that, and if I apply this sidechain, I want to apply the same curve. It can be a different amount because maybe this top loop already sidechained, that's why, but I always apply the same curve to the top loop as well. So I can match their grooves perfectly. I like to make this hi-hat a little bit short in terms of its decay. So I don't need to, work on all the automations. I can just double click the automation and adjust the max value here. Now it becomes much more tighter. And also let's jump to the melody and apply the same sidechain curve. There is no exact rule for that, but personally, I'm most of the time applying the same curve to every element in the track. If there's a sound that I need to take care of personally in more detail, that's other question, that's other topic. But usually, I apply the same curve to all of the sounds, which makes all of my track sounds in the same groove. Yeah, guys, those are the tips that I can give you about the groove of your tracks. So today that was it, guys. Don't forget to check my sample pack, the link in the description. See you on the next video. Bye bye.